Good evening and welcome to the news today. Intensive talks over Iran's nuclear program were set to reach yet another deadline tonight. But by midday, it was made clear that deadline no longer holds. Instead, high-level negotiations between the P5+1 world powers and Iran continue in Vienna. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini left open the possibility that negotiators would reach a deal by Thursday. But will enough concessions be made, and what kind? Ellie Hochenberg brings us the details.
No champagne bottles in Vienna Tuesday as the second deadline slips away and negotiators stop the clock. After the P5+1 foreign ministers met Tuesday morning without their Iranian counterpart, the slowdown in discussions left the negotiators with no choice but to continue the discussions, with Friday, July 10, the new target date to reach a deal.
We are extending our deadline. I told you 1 week ago, more or less, we are interpreting in a flexible way our deadline, which means that we are taking the time, the days we still need to finalize the agreement, which is something that is still possible, even if now we're getting into the difficult time.
The main setbacks are a few tough sticking points for which the teams are struggling to find solutions, namely the pace and method of lifting sanctions or re-employing them if a deal is violated, inspection of Iran's so-called possible military dimensions by the IAEA, and the issue of a UN Security Council arms embargo, which bans arms exports to the Islamic Republic.
For France's part, we are insisting especially on necessary limitation on nuclear research and development, sanctions and their re-establishment, and the possible military dimension of past-Iranian nuclear work.
The P5+1 foreign ministers are expected to leave Vienna once again in the coming days and then return for what may be the definitive final push.
Maybe. Iranian politics analyst Meir Javendafar is here with me. Good evening, Meir.
Good evening.
So, Meir, let's. We talked a lot about extensions, yes or no. Of course, another extension is coming. But today it seems that Russia is putting something else on the table and saying, okay, maybe we need to push right now everything that is happening.
Including the arms embargo. They want the arms embargo to be lifted. Yes, to be honest with you, the way things were going, a deal looked inevitable. It may still happen, but it seems that there are still some outstanding problems. It is possible that the two sides are trying to test the other, because either side, both sides know that the other side doesn't want to be seen as the one that caused the collapse of the negotiations. So I think this is a test of patience to see how far they can push. What is the absolute maximum they could get from it? And to be honest with you, Lucy, it would be a very logical move, because both in Iran and America, there are conservatives who are waiting and are accusing the people in Vienna of being too eager, rushing too fast, and giving away too much. So by playing tough at the very last minute, I think it actually makes sense. It kind of gives them some protection against such accusations when they return home.
But if we are hearing what, let's say, the foreign minister of France is saying today, he's saying that we are standing still on our demands regarding the sanctions. We are not moving from this. It seems more that Iran is just eager more to get to a deal than the rest of the world. But Iran is still playing a really, really smart game.
Absolutely, they're very good negotiators. You know, you don't give away. They're going to wait till the last moment, and it is possible that at the last moment they will make significant compromises. But they also know that the West doesn't want to, be seen as the one that led to the collapse of negotiations. In Iran, there are some rumors going around that actually a deal has been reached, but they're trying to wait not to announce it, because today and tomorrow it's been mourning days in Iran because of Imam Ali, and you're not allowed to celebrate. So some people are saying, oh, it's just the agreement's been reached, they're just trying to postpone it because they don't want people to celebrate. There's also, but that leads to another report from Iran that the government has said it has no plans to celebrate any nuclear achievement, which says a lot. Why would the government not want to celebrate an achievement? It goes to show that those who say that Iran has not made any compromise are wrong. The government is worried that because it has made compromises, if people come out to celebrate such a deal, they will be celebrating also the compromises which it said it would never make. So it's not going to look good.
We are talking about huge compromises, because today we are hearing again about the missile systems and all
that shouldn't be part of. To be honest with you, I don't know why they're including that part of the arms removal. That's nothing to do with the.
But the United States also
program.
mentioned this today, that we're talking now about the missile systems and the missile defense systems that they have, and it seems that because I'm just saying that probably maybe the rumors are right when they're saying that a deal is already signed, when we're hearing things like embargo on arms control.
Look, embargo on arms control, I think that's related to other issues. I don't think some of the arms is for nuclear program. No, some of it is for nuclear program, of course. But you know, if something is not related to the nuclear program, look, ideally speaking, nobody wants Iran to have missiles. Okay, but a lot of countries, any country needs to have a defense system. Of course, it depends on the region and everything. So it's more difficult to get Iran to give up its missile system than, for example, making compromises on the issue of number of sanctions, or more importantly, previous military dimensions on what they've done before. These are far more urgent issues than the missile issue. You know, the missile issue, they could also say it's part of our defensive program. It's every country has got missile. You can't get us to give that up as well. That's going to be more difficult. But I think the focus probably is going to be on more crucial issues. Especially, I want to know two things. What will happen to the work on previous military dimensions, and snapback? Lucy, if there's not a good snapback system in place in this deal, it will be a weak deal.
So let's go together live to Ellie Hochenberg, who is in Vienna. Ellie, you've been there for a long time now. You know, I want to ask you more about your personal experience, because it seems, Ellie, that, you know, each and every day you hear a lot of rumors as, you know, correspondents being there and hearing things. But just share with me a little bit what happened and what did you feel in the last few days in Vienna?
Well, first of all, you should have seen the faces of the journalists earlier today as EU's top diplomat Federica Mogherini announced this extension. They were absolutely devastated. It looked like a mourning day here, and they were really upset. You know, you spend so much time here waiting for a certain thing to happen, and it keeps on getting extended. So it really was a tremendous thing to look at. But actually, that only a couple of hours before this announcement, one of the journalists here managed to check that to see that the hotel reservations of the American delegation here were extended to July 11th. So the rumors, as you were talking about, rumors started, you know, to spread around, and we sort of knew that something is about to happen. But besides, you know, all the gossip, one thing that is important to mention, because probably you and our viewers are wondering why it does take so long, because, you know, we kept on hearing about progress and heading towards an agreement, and nothing is happening. And the reason for that is actually quite positive, because because one of the most important things for the delegates here is that this agreement will be highly specified, detailed to the last point. They want that, well, that by the time they get to the next phase, to the implementation phase, there will be no questions, no loose ends, that everything will be specified exactly. And we are expected to see about 80 pages long of an agreement. So this is really a very detailed, elaborated agreement. And this is why it is taking so long. And this is why we see yet another extension earlier today.
Yes, Ellie Hochenberg. It seems that maybe the P5+1 forgot that Iran is playing checkmate in this deal. Thank you very much for this, Ellie Hochenberg.